Hello, welcome to the channel. I'm Claire Francis. Today we have all things Marks and Spencer's. So I've been on a shopping trip to a bigger Marks and Spencer's, tried some things on, and then I have a haul for you as well from M&S. So that's all coming up in today's video. Hope you're going to enjoy it. So going into store, this is what's on the models in the front of the store. We've got a green outfit there, long green wool coat. I think it's called a car coat, and a green jumper and trousers there. A suedette longline coat as well, a trench coat, and then a faux leather longer style coat there as well. These are all round the sort of £80–90 mark, something like that. You can see the shoes there, there's some loafers, there's some ankle boots. Then we've got some nice knitwear here. Now I'm going to be focusing on knitwear next week, so we'll come back and talk about that then. And we've got a pleated skirt there, a satin skirt, which I'll be showing you later. And then we've got a nice check jacket there, that little label on it, talking about love that. I think it means it's on the Marks and Spencer's advert. And then we've got a sort of blazer style jacket there, faux leather. More knitwear, winter colours there. You can see a plaid duffel coat, which is £80 as well, I think. There's sort of cropped duffel coat there. And we've got some plaid detailing there. And you can see the sort of autumnal type colours. In the background there, you can see the bowling bags. They're very popular at the moment, those sort of long line bags there. And then I'm having a look round. So this was a nice lace dress. It's in a sort of red burgundy colour. It's very see-through though. It's just the sheer lace. It's £50, I think. And it has no underlayer though, so it's a little bit too see-through. You'd have to wear some sort of layer under that really. Also, this little polka dot dress I thought was nice. Now it says, I think it says £45 on the label, but it's actually online for £31.50. It's one of the items that's reduced at the moment, so it's actually not £45, it's £31.50 if you get it online. Quite a nice dress, but quite lightweight for the autumn. Then looking at the brown Croc PU leather coat, that's a sort of trench coat as well. That's been very popular. I think it's sold out in the burgundy. It's £90, and there's a little blouse underneath there, £29.50, a plain cream blouse. Then we've got a nice cream blouse there. I think that's £30, has a little tie detail. That was quite nice. And then here we've got these red satin trousers. I have actually tried them on before, you might remember. I think I needed them in the long length. This was the regular length, but they are £29.50. They're quite nice. I think they only do them in the red at the moment. Might be other colours coming soon. And then there's a nice little cream embellished jumper there, a little soft fluffy jumper. I think that's £40, I think. Then looking a little bit further, you can see there we've got some boots in the background there, some quite high-heeled ankle boots. Then trying to avoid all the people that were here, so trying not to show them. This is the coat again, you can see it a little bit more clearly here, the crocodile leather PU coat. This is in the brown, so the burgundy sold out, as I said, and now it's available in the brown. And then you can see here there's a little gilet. I can't show you it very well there. So then we've got the try-ons. So this is that wool blend coat from the front of the store. Quite oversized. It says it's a car coat, but it's very long for a car coat. A little bit oversized on me. That was only, I think it was a 12 or a 14, but it was very big. This was nice. This is a faux leather collarless jacket for £70. Not an ideal shape on me though. It's quite a boxy short jacket, but it's lovely. Then a black velvet blazer I spotted. This is £80. Looks really nice, fits nice, sort of quite fitted at the waist there, and has 2 gold buttons. Did like that, but it was a little bit tight, that, the 14. This is the double-breasted longline suedette trench coat, £90, but very bulky. Now, I should have done up the belt to show you, which I haven't, so it sort of drowns me a little bit. And I said this was only a 12 or a 14. So when I popped into Mango next door, I actually made sure I did up the belt. It looks a bit better, but still very bulky. And by the way, apologies for the voice today. I do have a little bit of a virus and it always affects my voice, having been a teacher for so long. My voice is a little bit weak, so apologies if it's a little bit gravelly. Hopefully it'll be better soon, but thank you for bearing with me. And today I'm wearing the burgundy blazer that you might have seen last week. This was the sort of favourite outfit, I think, was the outfits with my striped jumper and my burgundy blazer. And I've got it on with a little polo Ralph Lauren shirt. And I've got my M&S belt there and some M&S jeans. These are a darker jean today. So that's my outfit of the day. I did buy some items there. I've also bought a couple of things online because they didn't have the sizes, you know, usual thing. So let's have a look at those. So this is a slightly more elevated haul. Last week I did lots of casual outfits, so this has got some slightly nicer pieces in it. Let's have a look at the first one. Oh, just show you quickly, I did order another pair of Marks and Spencer's pajamas. These are the sort of body soft version, I think, with the sort of lace detailing on the back. I did like these. They arrived very crumpled up though, and they've only just sort of, creases have just hung out, and it is quite a thin material, so I don't think they're going to be particularly cozy at night in the autumn winter. So I'm sort of still looking for pajamas. They were nice, as I said, they're £25 and I got the size medium there. Obviously they come with the trouser part there as well, with the drawstring waist and the nice lace detail, as I said. But to be honest, I think they're just that little bit thin. So I'm sort of still waiting. I probably won't keep those. You can see as well the sort of, there is a colour scheme going on here of sorts. I've got some sort of neutral colours, bit of beige and brown and cream and brown and some burgundy there. So that's my sort of overall colour scheme. But the pyjamas, not sure about those. But let's get on to the first item, slightly more elevated. So I came across this lovely cream blouse here. The reason I liked it was that the tie there is a little bit unusual. You can just tie it like that and it lies quite flat. I have tried with some of these sort of big pussy bow blouses. They end up with a lot of bulk around your neck, which isn't always ideal. So this is quite straight as well. So I think you could even wear it out. It's the size 14, which is a tiny bit big actually. And you can see that it was £30. Which I thought was a good price for it. I'll put the composition on the screen there. But, it, you know, a nice blouse. Buttons are quite plain there. It's a nice silky feel, but it's not satin as such. You know, it's not shiny in any way. I think that will be a really versatile blouse. You can see the cuffs there. There's just a little button on the back there. Being that cream colour, I think that will be really versatile. And as I said, I quite like the neck detail like that. So let's just have a look at it on. You can see there, I'm styling it out just to show you what it's like. Possibly I could have gone down to the 12 really. And then also showing it tucked in there. But I think that's going to be very versatile as a sort of layering piece under gilets, jumpers, you know, maybe elevated with nice skirts and things, or maybe dressed down a bit with jeans. So that's my first item. Reasonably happy with that one. I also spotted, you know, they do this blouse, lots of times they've done these. I've actually got a green version. However, the green colour I've got is not really one of my colours. It doesn't do anything much for me. Whereas I think the burgundy is a much nicer colour. So this was same as the other blouse, I think, £30. And so this one is more of a shiny, satiny sort of look. And you can see it's got a little collar there. And it's got buttons down the front there, which are sort of mother of pearly, I would say. And then you've got a normal cuff with a mother of pearl type button. So it's a lovely silky feeling item. Again, I'll put the composition on the screen. So let's have a look at that there. Again, you can see it's much too sort of big and bulky to leave out. So you would tuck that in. It looks nice tucked into a pair of jeans maybe, or you could elevate it tucked into something a little bit more fancy if you want. So lots of ways you could wear this. I actually quite like it dressed down with something like denim. but you know, could elevate for the evening. Could be a really nice, actually, sort of going out to the pub for a meal in the evening if you just want to wear a pair of trousers or jeans and something a little bit smarter. But I did quite like the V-neck there. Quite flattering on a lot of people, and the fabric feels nice. I'm not sure with these sort of very synthetic ones whether they'd be a little bit sweaty. Not sure about that. I tend to wear some sort of vest top underneath anyway, but a nice item that. Not sure if I'm going to keep that. You can let me know what you think later on. Then I've got another item to show you, not quite as elevated, but it can be. Now, I don't know if you remember these trousers that I've shown you before in the navy. I actually saw that they were doing them online in the cream colour, and they were actually reduced. So they had these for £25, not £35. So I got the size 12, which is more my normal size in leggings and skirts and things. And you can see it has this pinstripe running down it. They are wide leg, but not too wide leg. They hang quite nicely, and as you can see, elasticated waist with a little drawstring. Now the fabric, I'll put the composition on the screen. The fabric feels lovely. It's very sort of almost velvety feeling, but it's fairly light. It's not a very heavyweight fabric. It's sort of medium, but I really like this. Now I'm not sure if they're going to be that long wearing because the blue pair that I have got a little pull on them. So I'm not 100% sure quite how long lasting they will be. They do have pockets as well without a zip or anything, but they do lie nice and flat. So just have a look at those there. I like the fluid motion of the trousers. They actually hang really nicely, and obviously with the elasticated waist, they're really, really comfortable. So I think for the £25, that was a good bargain. I'm not sure if they're still available. They definitely are available in the navy because I've seen them in store when I was there last week. So they are available, but not sure about the cream. But I thought that would be lovely at the moment while it's still nice and sunny and things. And then maybe I might put them away in the winter because they're not that thick, as I said, or keep them for next spring possibly. Or you could wear them at home. Now I got the 12 long because the medium length is only just about long enough with very flat shoes. So if I want to wear them out and about with, say, an ankle boot, I really need the long. However, that means they're quite long if I'm wearing them at home. But the good thing about this type of waistband is you can just literally fold it over and that pulls up the length a couple of inches, and then they're fine. So I find these quite versatile. As I said, I get them in the longer length, and then I can actually wear them a bit shorter if I need to. So nice pair of trousers there, or more like relaxed jogging trousers really, but you know, there's something elevated about them. They feel quite elegant. And if you wear them with a blazer, people have commented on them to me with the navy ones, and I've said, oh, they're just elasticated waist sort of draw, and people were quite surprised. So they do look like quite a nice pair of trousers. So that was my third item. Then the next item I'm showing you, I think you may have seen it before. I got it a couple of weeks ago, but because I showed you the black version in the shop video a minute ago, I'll show you the fact that I have got the navy version of the pleated skirt. So this is the satin pleated sort of slip skirt. I do have the blue version of that. Now I've shown that to you before, but I thought I'd show you because it is available in black if any of you didn't like the blue. I think it came just in the blue originally. Can't remember the price. I'll put the price on the screen for you there. Lovely skirt, hangs really nicely. So I think the nicest way to wear that is actually dressed down with a cream jumper and maybe some cream ankle boots or cream court shoes or kitten heels or something like that. That's my favourite way. I think it's a bit more of a modern way to wear it. You could elevate it and maybe wear it with the cream blouse. So let's have a look at that. The only thing there is obviously you've got to tuck it in, and if you're a little bit conscious of your waistline, you might not like that, but with a blazer over, maybe you wouldn't actually even notice that. So that's a nice way to wear that. And I say it's a really nice feeling and it hangs really well. Right at the bottom, the pleats sort of fall out a little bit purposely, I think, to give a sort of slightly fluted hem there, but a really nice skirt. Sort of been saving that a little bit for the festive season, but as I say, you could wear it anytime really, maybe, you know, sort of going out for a meal or something with a jumper, as I said, gives it that sort of smart but casual look, which I think is really nice. Then I've got a couple of blazers. Now, I'm really into blazers at the moment. Somebody did comment last week that they think I look better in the slightly smarter outfits than the very casual ones, and I totally agree. So let's have a look at the blazers. So the first one, I've been after a tweed blazer, and I saw this one online actually. I didn't see it in store. It's a really nice, I think it's mainly polyester, recycled polyester. I'll put the composition again up on the screen for you. So it's not that proper sort of wool tweed type blazer, but it's got a nice check design with, you can see a little bit of a sort of tan colour in there, as well as the sort of grey, black and sort of creamy colour. And the lining is dark brown. The price was quite reasonable. It's a size 14 I got, and it's £65. Now, I know probably if you got this in somewhere like H&M or something, it'd be more like £45. But I think it does feel quite nice quality, even though it's a light blazer. So it's not heavy in any way, but you could obviously make it warmer by wearing a nice woolly, cable knit jumper underneath, and then just put that on top as a sort of lighter, smarter layer. So it's got 2 buttons there. It's got, I'm not sure if they're real pockets there. I think they're sort of fake pocket flaps there. I'm not sure if you can actually open them. And then obviously a little vent at the back there, a really traditional sort of check design. But I really liked that, and I do like that look in the autumn, that sort of smart casual countryside vibe. So this is less sort of elevated, more elevated countryside, more elevated sort of smart casual rather than smart. So, but I did really like it. The buttons are just sort of a browny, slight tortoise shelly. No, actually they're fairly plain. Oh, they're a little bit of a sort of pattern on them there. But really comfortable. So have a look at that on. You can see I've styled it there. I have actually worn it out already. So I styled it there with some jeans, and I do feel really comfortable in that. I do like the blazer. I think that is one thing I am going to keep. I would have preferred more of a traditional wool type of one, but I haven't seen any at the moment. This is the best that I've seen, probably because I haven't been in enough different shops to find them. But I did really like the blazer, and the 14 is fine. I could have gone up if I'd wanted to have a bit more leeway for very thick jumpers underneath, but I always feel then I look bulky on top if I've got a sort of oversized blazer. So the 14 I think is reasonable, although I'm not so likely to do it up. I think I'll just leave it open if I'm wearing a thicker jumper. But I did really like that. And one other elevated piece, I came across a black velvet blazer. And while I was trying on those coats earlier, you might have seen that, I did try it on. It's got these 2 gold buttons there, and it's a fairly traditional style blazer, I say a velvet feel to it. It's got the 2 sort of semi-fake pockets there and the little vent at the back. But you probably can't see it that clearly there because it's so black. It is a nice velvet texture. Now, the reason I liked it is because it does sort of go in at the waist a little bit and gives you a nice shape. So you saw me trying it on earlier, but have a look at it now, sort of styled up a little bit better there. You can see how that would look nice. Again, you could wear that in the daytime with a pair of jeans. I think that would be a really nice way to do, maybe a sort of lunch date or, lunch out with the girls or something like that. If you wanted to elevate it slightly, wear something like jeans and the blazer. Obviously at Christmas, you can also wear that with all your nicer, velvet dresses and trousers, and actually it would look nice with a satin slip skirt as well. I might try that on. Let's have a look at that with my black satin slip skirt. What do you think of that? Again, I wasn't necessarily going for black, but that's the only colour they seem to have. I would have preferred something like maybe a burgundy or a brown or a navy or something like that. And I know there are some of those around in different stores. I believe even some of the supermarkets have some quite nice velvet blazers. But the fabric does feel really nice. And overall, I was really happy with it. But do I actually need a black velvet blazer? I probably don't actually. So I may have to take that back. I do have a black blazer already. I don't wear it that often, so I'm not sure. It was, did I tell you the price? I don't think I did. It was £80. Actually, no, this was actually a 16. I had to go up in this one. The 14 was far too tight. It is strange, isn't it? Same shop. The 14 in the other blazer was perfect, and it looks like a fairly fitted style. This was much too small in the 14, so I've had to go up to the 16. And then that's a good size on me, maybe a tiny bit big on the hips, but that's what I've had to do really to get it to fit. So, you know, compared to all the coats that I was going to have to size down to like a 10 or a 12, now we're going to the blazers and the sort of it's 14 or 16, so it's all a bit confusing. I know some items are designed to be fitted and some are designed to be more oversized, but it does seem very confusing when you're trying to get something that just roughly does fit you. But I did like that. Nice blazer there. If you are looking for a blazer like that, a velvet blazer, I would recommend it. And if you have enjoyed this video, there's a couple of other videos you might like to see. This was my other recent Marks and Spencer's haul. And then this one I did last week, you may not have seen this. This is where I styled up some of those items I bought from Marks and Spencer's and other places as well, and turn them into 10 outfits for autumn. So have a look at that one as well. And please, if you haven't yet subscribed, please do that. I'd be very grateful. It really does help the channel. I know some of my M&S hauls are really popular, and even if you just watch those videos, please would you subscribe? That'd be really helpful. Thank you. So hope you enjoyed my haul there and my shop and try on session as well. Let me know your thoughts. What items did you like? Anything that you think I should keep, let me know, that would be great. Thank you very much for watching. I really hope you've enjoyed the video, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.